इस्लामाबाद में इस वक्त पाकिस्तान और मलेशिया के वज़ीर-ए-आज़म की प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस जारी है, आपको दिखाते हैं।
Who changed his country, and we followed very closely because Pakistan always had a close relationship with Malaysia, and we took almost pride in the way Malaysia developed and raised the standard of living and became like a model for the Muslim world, and that was under your premiership. So we admire you for that. We also admire you for taking stand on issues which affect the Muslim world. Unfortunately, very few Muslim leaders do take stands, like for instance, the war on terror, the way it affected the Muslim world, the way Islamophobia has spread in the Western world, and the way the Muslims are treated because of deliberately, I would say deliberately, what were political struggles were converted into almost as if the reason was religion behind these struggles. And so any crime committed by a Muslim was immediately, the whole 1.3 billion Muslims were blamed for the crime. And this was reflected in this Christchurch killing where a man brazenly, a terrorist, filmed shooting innocent women and children and innocent people in a mosque, and then didn't regret it. And this is because of the Islamophobia which has, especially since 9/11, has spread. And so we in the Muslim world have been watching you take stands, speak out for what were causes affecting the Muslims. And of course, Prime Minister, we have been watching your stand against corruption. You have presented me a book on corruption, which I look forward to reading. But my party started a campaign 22 years ago against corruption. We actually believe that countries are not poor, corruption makes them poor. Corruption is what destroys state institutions. Corruption is what takes away money which should be spent on human beings. It takes away that money and it is siphoned off by corrupt elites, money laundered abroad, and therefore they impoverish the country by destroying state institutions and diverting money from human development. And I know that you came back, one of the most remarkable comebacks. You came as a Prime Minister to combat corruption, so we admire you for that too. So again, Prime Minister, I welcome you again to Pakistan, and I just want to say how honored we feel.
Mr. Prime Minister, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, I am so very glad to renew our friendship, which is a very long friendship, and to come back to Pakistan to join in the celebration. We have been very well received by the Prime Minister as well as the government of Pakistan, and we have had bilateral discussions on very substantial issues affecting Pakistan and Malaysia, and also the rest of the world, in particular the Muslim world. We have identified many areas where we can enhance our relationship with Pakistan to the betterment of both our countries. No doubt that if we increase our trade with each other, we will have benefited much in growing our economies. Today, everyone is focused on growing the economy. It is necessary that we have some wealth of our own in order to be able to function well as nations and also as players in the international forum. We believe that trade between us will increase because we now have outlined the measures that we should take in order to improve our trade. We need to identify what you can sell to us and what we can sell to you. We need to know the laws and rules and practices in our two countries so that we are familiar with them, and where possible we should commonize the laws so that our traders and your traders would find it comfortable to do business between our two countries. We also talk about the possibility of foreign direct investment for Pakistan to invest in Malaysia and for Malaysia to invest in Pakistan in certain areas, including, of course, power generation and the like. And I think this will be beneficial again to both countries' economic growth. We are very concerned about corruption. As the Prime Minister said just now, it's not that we are poor, it is corruption which makes us poor. Everything costs more when there is corruption. You have to pay a certain amount to get a certain job done, so the cost will always be higher. And sometimes, of course, money is stolen by officials and the like, and this has to be stopped. When we came back, it is with the idea of combating corruption in Malaysia, which was rampant during the last regime. And then I think we can exchange information on how to combat corruption within our two countries, in our two countries. We think that there is some scope for extending our cooperation between other Muslim countries. We noted that today there is not a single Muslim country which is considered as developed.